So there we have a couple of a guy from Ecuador and a girl from China, which came in the news. By the way, they posted a video, I believe, maybe in Douyin. It was in Chinese and English. I didn't watch it there, but I watched it in another platform. And somehow they were discussing about the dowry, the bride price. And he was saying, because he comes from Latin America specifically Ecuador, he wasn't used to this kind of term or like idea. The whole thing about giving money to the parents was not of his like an agreement. Somehow he was sitting very calmly with this one Chinese girl, which, by the way, she is very beautiful, very pretty, and he was just very cool and chill, saying like, I'm not okay with that, and we have to come to terms with your family in the case we want to keep being together, because not now but in the future to come, because otherwise we cannot be together, since I will not agree to that. He was quite like firm about that, although they have been together for the past 2 years, I believe. So they have been together already for some time. Like 2 years is 2 years, And she was like, yeah, I don't know why my family or the Chinese families collect this dowry. I'm not like questioning whether it's good or bad, but it's our tradition. The Chinese people most of the times will not question the traditions, will just follow them. And sometimes even when you get to question them like this or that, they'll be like, I don't know, we just do it that way. That's the way my mom or my parents, my grandparents have been showing me to do life, like in every aspect. So therefore we just continue doing it that way, and we don't have that much of a sense about the facts of why is it that we act this or that way. So what I find curious about the video, and what I like, there are so many comments, and we're just gonna go down to the comments, because the whole story, which I find a little bit disturbing, for them to be sitting there and him saying like, okay, but we cannot, he mentioned like twice or 3 times that they couldn't be together if they didn't come to an agreement, because he was not going to agree on that of the dowry. And he somehow said like, I will agree if the money will be given for our family, but not for your parents. Maybe to some parents this will be even alarming, because it's like an honor to marry a daughter, and somehow if you are taking home the daughter, you are not paying them. Oh, by the way, he was very clear on this. He was like, I'm not gonna buy you as a woman, because it's not human trafficking or something like that. And I believe he went a little bit too far. He's living in China, and he has been there for at least the past 2 years, maybe, that he has been with her. So somehow by this point he must be more aware of the Chinese culture, although it's not about just like lining more to one side of a couple. If there are two on that boat, of course you can respect both the cultures of each one, right? Nonetheless, if you're living in China, I mean, if you went to China and you're living there for the past 2 years, or at least you have been with her for the past 2 years, you knew, or maybe you know by now, what you were getting into. And as a guy, just like letting the time pass by, being aware of what is coming or what was expected from him, if he was aware of that, because I'm sure many are. Even I knew foreigners, like my fellow classmates, ex-classmates, ex-friends from China. Hi, friends, if you're still there. That those guys are very well aware from the moment they start dating, not even becoming like a couple, boyfriend, girlfriend, but from the moment they start dating, the girl sometimes even will mention these things, or they will be very aware of that because a previous friend of them also did the same thing, and he ended up marrying a girl, buying a house, giving the dowry, etc. So we have also many YouTubers here, very respectable ones, and they did also went through all these procedures in order to get the girl. And I don't believe it was somehow called or felt to them like it was purchasing the girl or buying the girl as a property or a human trafficking event, because the parents had this tradition because it's China, and they just act like this. If it was a Chinese, he was advocating like, I'm not a Chinese guy, I'm just a foreigner, so it's not fair for me to pay, and I don't find this amusing, and I'm not in for that, so we have to come to an agreement, otherwise we will have to end the relationship. I just find it very annoying that he was somehow, instead of him like, I'm just gonna solve things in order for us to be together, I'm gonna talk to your parents, or I will do anything as possible, anything on my power in order to be with you, no matter if it's to pay or if I can get to an agreement with your parents in order to, persuade them to do something else, another kind of agreement. But no, he gets to mention maybe 3 times in the video that he was not going to be with her if the parents will still ask him for the dowry, which I just think is very uncomfortable, because at any point he could just leave. He was a Latin boy, a Latin man dating her. So for him, maybe I'm not saying this is the reality, but this is how I perceive it. It's just a choice, because he didn't say, I'm gonna just fight. I'm just gonna, not like fight, like, but like, you don't have to worry about that. I'm just gonna deal with it, because hopefully I don't have to pay, because I don't feel like this or that is fair. But if there is nothing else to do, then I will do it because I want to be with you. But no, he just left the door open to the possibility that they wouldn't be together if the case was that he needed to pay for her, or like he needed to buy her, as he mentioned. So this just states how open he is to just end up the relation anytime. And so many of the comments are like, oh, you see, you should leave him now, because otherwise he can leave you anytime and he's just spending your time, etc. Let me read you some of them. She explained, I came to China after university and dated a lot of girls in 2010. Girls wanted a relationship and marriage, and I refused remaining single to this day. Nobody, no one person mentioned bride price, so why now? He might be because it was not serious, And then it's a part of a culture, and if you don't have the means to get married or can't respect the traditions of a difficult culture, why are you here? They asked him. In most cases, nowadays, the bride price will be given and the man's side will use that money on things for the couple, car, items for the house, etc. In my case, the dowry I gave was handed back double-fold. It really depends on what the family are like and local traditions. It's not all black and white like most of you think. Exactly, maybe it's also like a proof. A test. He was already like giving up on the girl, because if the dowry was imposed and there was no agreement, he said, we cannot be together that way. But then at the end of the video, you know what he says? He says, but it's fine. We are not thinking about getting married now. So maybe in the future, when we want to discuss this, like if we decide to get married, then we will see. I was like, this girl is quite beautiful. I don't believe they are in their 30s. They must be in their 20s. But this girl is just spending time now with him until who knows when. And if the guy decides to get married, then they will get to discuss this issue. But if not, then you have the answer. And if he does, then if the dowry is not, it's not forgiven, you know the answer too. So either way, she's just very exposed to just be there without any insurance of like tomorrow, of the love of himself, like somehow trying to make things happen, because he seems so chill about it. I mean, okay, there is this other guy say, as a Latino myself, I totally relate to this ideology. With a Chinese girlfriend, with our plan of marriage, we have come to the joint agreement, and her parents agreed that they even agreed to contribute to the joint account for the purpose of future family, house, and business. Okay, in general, Latin men are not really willing to sometimes even, let's just continue. In my personal experience, the bride price in case of a multicultural marriage can cause way too many issues before or even after marriage. Any practice being a part of the culture isn't easy to get rid of, especially when it becomes outdated or downright unfair. Don't feel bad. Keep up your standards, your stance, but be gentle. I'll take a few more generations to read this practice. Do you guys really think this practice will be gone? I don't believe so. And then another comment says, like, when in Rome, do as Romans. If they meet and live in China, follow your local customs. If it's in his country, follow his. I don't believe like you have to. I mean, if I get to go to travel to Italy and I myself find an Italian, and he somehow has these customs because we are there and I am also moving to that place, somehow I will be more comprehensive about how things are done there because I'm there and he's there. But it doesn't mean like my culture will be just like blackout because of his, but he went there for some reason, maybe just for her, I don't know. And somehow, as I was previously saying, he must know by now all these criteria, and he writes it so chill and cool about the things that he's not agree with, but it's not the time yet to think about it, because if he decides to marry her, then they will speak about it. So anyways, and one commenter says, find another girl. There are so many Chinese girls who won't agree with this and are open-minded. A house is enough as it is. I almost made this mistake until she pulled the bride price. That bride price is a nice house. My wife and my kids are still collecting mine. Everything I have worked for is theirs. What do you guys think about it? Okay, some of the comments I'll read you. Some users warned her about potential legal issues, recalling cases where foreigner men accused their partners of financial fraud when they asked for a bride price. Others pointed out that many Chinese couples today no longer practice caili. And also, some reactions were, I think you should just break up. He's not even planning to marry you soon. Why waste the time? I will also agree that I don't think break up, but I just believe like she must be aware of how chill he was with the fact that it's fine if they're not together. It's fine. They're not even like thinking about getting married now. So why will they so why even bring the whole issue about like just, I mean, it's just a little bit, I didn't find it any any sense. If the amount is small, it can be symbolic, but if it's too high, it feels like extortion. Foreigners don't have bride price. Marriage should be about mutual support, not money. So this guy just keeps repeating in the video, sounds to me like you are just buying your wife. Well, it sounds to you, but you're not buying anyone because anyone is for sale, It's just a tradition. It's not even the price she puts in herself. I just really somehow respect this, and I even treat it as a filter because, to be honest, nowadays men are just doing the minimal effort as possible. And I have seen so many foreigners accomplish this because of real love, like they don't mind and they pay this respect to the parents of the woman that they will marry. Like, it's totally fine. I'm even in to be helping them in the future to come because they soon will be elders, and I have to be also with my wife somehow supporting them. So why not, instead of just taking this approach of like, oh no, I have to pay for you, you are not merchandise, you're not paying for her, you just, it's just a tradition. And why a filter? Because so many men here will just be like, bye bye, I will find another Chinese. So this means it was not about you, it was just being with a Chinese woman, and you are easily substituted by another one because of money. Whereas if you are blessed enough to find the one, you will just be blessed by falls, and that money will just come back to you somehow, somewhat, somehow, somewhat. I just believe that you guys have seen many bloggers here in internet that marry Chinese women, and they also agreed on this criteria, without questioning, without even asking, can you forgive me on the bride price? So what do you guys think? I just didn't enjoy this conversation because, I mean, that video, it was quite appealing to me that he was not very invested on really getting that one girl, but just getting the pass of getting her for free. I'm just trying to say it in his own words, like purchasing her, he wanted just to get her for free, whereas another even foreigner could be willing to pay the price of the bride price, because it's the way it is. It's not like you're purchasing anyone. It's not property. Anyways, guys, I'll hope to read your comments down below and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it.